Hi everyone, this is Sal Jade from the Psychic Healing Academy, and in this short tarot training video I'd like to share with you a very time-honoured question, and that is, how much do tarot readers get paid? Now, if you are watching this on YouTube, please do hit subscribe so you don't miss any of these free tarot training videos. So before I get started, I'm going to probably annoy you a little bit by saying there actually isn't one definitive answer to this question, because it's a bit like saying, how much do graphic designers get paid, or how much do real estate agents get paid? Like, it depends. Actually, real estate agents is a good example, because if you're selling properties, you don't know how many properties you're going to sell in a year. And when you're a tarot reader, you obviously don't know how many readings you're going to do in a week or in a month or in a year. So coming up with an exact sort of reliable figure is very challenging. Add to that the fact that it's really important to remember that you will get paid differently depending on what country you are in. Because like, so someone says, well, I charge $40 and they live in the US, and that might seem, okay, well, that's a sort of reasonable exchange. But if you live in somewhere like India, or in a country where $40 is a lot more money, like it's much more than just a meal out, then that's going to be a different kettle of fish. People won't be willing to necessarily spend as much on that. Now, what you get paid obviously will also depend on your experience, and that's just natural. So when I got started, I started quite small. So just to give you an example, I was charging $55 for a half an hour reading. Now, that is Australian, which is roughly about 38 US right now. That fluctuates. And I was charging that, and I was lucky that I knew to charge that because I was working in a shop. So the shop set the price. So I already kind of knew what it was people were willing to pay. And look, some days I would get 3 or 4 readings. Some days I could get 15 readings. Some days I might get 1 reading. So you can see by just saying, well, how much do you get paid, can be very fickle. Now, in your own country, if you are still saying, well, Sal, how would I know what I could charge in my country? I would start looking at things like mind, body, spirit festivals or fairs, because often those kind of situations will set the price, because the vendors that run them will actually take all the money and then pay the readers afterwards. And that'll give you an idea roughly what people will pay for a tarot reading in your country. So what that value is. Now, keep in mind, if you hear that and you go, well, that seems like a really low figure, Sal, don't worry, because obviously the more you are experienced and the more you grow your clientele, and the more you get booked out weeks and weeks advance, and as the years go by and your marketing starts costing a lot more, and your tools that you buy to invest in your business cost more, you will be increasing your prices. But in the beginning, yes, you can expect, if you are, depending on what country you are in, say if you're in the US, I'm saying between 35 to 40 US for half an hour, or roughly around there. Now, some of you might say, well, Sal, I've been trying to sell that and that's not working right now for me. No one's buying. Keep in mind that the challenge of that is often that's because there's a lot of free readings out there. And so you're competing with the free reading market. Now, I'm someone who believes in paying for readings. I don't believe that you should just get free readings all the time, especially for very serious life-changing questions. And I know there are definitely a lot of people out there that are very happy to pay for readings, but you do have to spend some time, especially if you are working online, in being able to build up the like and trust factor. So sometimes you may have to give away some kind of free content, like a free video like I'm doing now, or a free kind of pick a card thing, just to establish yourself as an expert before people would trust you to pay for your readings. And then as you build up, you can start to grow your prices a bit. I don't advise too much starting too low with your pricing when you're setting it. So I wouldn't say, yeah, $5 for a 1 hour reading, because realistically you have to think, how many can I do in a day before I'm completely wiped out and exhausted? You might try that in the beginning to get a few clients, but I would not consider that a long-term good strategy for making money. So I've actually laughingly looked up on Google, how much do tarot readers get paid, before I did this video. And there was all these assessments of what they get paid over the year. And I thought, I know a lot of tarot readers, and some earn 10 times as much as that. Some don't earn anywhere near that. So please don't take that as a given. Know that as you get started, you will be charging lower prices, and you can find out what those prices should be by maybe checking out what your local fairs and festivals are, and then adapt it as you go. Now, one complication that may be in there, and I'm going to throw this one in, is if you live in a country and so say, for example, you're an Indian tarot reader and you live in a country where, say, a 1 hour reading may be only $5 or $10 US, because that's the value of the money compared to what people in the US would pay for their cost of living, and you're doing online readings, and so your US market, that would seem quite rather cheap. So I would consider thinking about that with your marketing on your website. You might want to consider local prices, or, if you are from India, reach out to me, and, and you don't even have to say to get a cheaper price. You can say, so we can talk about how to transfer payment, things like that, because that might work for you a bit better too, because you may find you're trying to market your readings and you're doing them at US prices that are way too high for people who are on an Indian budget. So I hope that gives you some excellent tips on understanding what tarot readers get paid. I would also like to add this question from one professional tarot reader to another. If you are really intending, or you already are a tarot reader, please, I know it can seem sometimes that tarot readers get paid a lot of money. I mean, you may have heard me just say 40 US for half an hour and think, oh, that's quite a bit. Now, I got paid that. This is like going back nearly 15 years now. I was getting paid that. So you might think, well, Sal, that was really good money, way above minimum wage, getting paid 40 US for half an hour. Having said that, you will not always get reliable, consistent work. That takes time. It takes to build up your reach. And I have a program called the Advanced Tarot and Psychic Business Program. If you're interested in that, you can find that on the Psychic Healing Academy, or reach out to me at team@saljade.com, or you can find in the description any links for that. And I also have some free tarot training and psychic business training that I offer in my newsletters and in my tarot seminars. So you can find that information there as well, where I give you extra tips about how to set up an online business. But please trust me, it can take time to build your reach and to build your clientele. So when you are looking to become a professional online reader, so if you look at a figure and I've said $40 and you think, oh, I'm going to rush out and I'm suddenly going to quit my day job and do that, please don't do that. Know that it takes time to build up regular work as a tarot reader. And something else I will say, with absolutely no judgment, I know it can get very excited thinking about those as being big amounts of money for some people if you're earning a much lower wage than that right now. But please only pursue a career in tarot if you love the tarot, if you are passionate about the tarot, because there will be some very hard days. You will get hostile clients. You can be dealing with very intense subjects like rape and incest and divorce and medical issues and heartbreak and people losing their jobs and people losing their homes. And you have to be emotionally very resilient and very kind, and you have to be passionate about how the tarot can help people with these challenges and problems. So if you're someone who's thinking, I just want to make a quick buck out of the tarot, and you're not really loving the tarot, you're not even that interested in if it helps people, not the right career for you. You'll probably find you'll just get burnt out, or you'll probably attract very difficult, challenging clients a lot. For me, the best tarot careers are ones that come from love. Yes, you can still make great money doing it, but you do need to come from a very high space of love and wanting to be of service and help people to get through some of those tougher times. So I hope that's helped. And as I said, if you would like to know more about these kind of topics, do go into the link in the description and find out more about my free seminars, and do look at subscribing if you want to get more of these videos. Thanks so much for joining me.